Welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Tony Dokoupil with Gayle King and Anthony Mason, and we're going to begin with the woman who was having an affair with a Colorado man accused of killing his fiancée. She is expected back on the stand today after revealing dramatic new details about the alleged crime. Patrick Frazee is on trial for murder. Frazee's fiancée, Kelsey Barrett, was last seen in public last Thanksgiving Day. Her body has not been found, but prosecutors allege Frazee killed her. Crystal Lee, a nurse from Idaho, began her testimony yesterday. Nikki Battiste has been following this story. Nikki, good morning. So what did Lee reveal?
Good morning, Tony. Well, there were a few bombshells during her testimony, including details about the alleged murder and Kelsey Barrett's apparent last words. This is the first time we're hearing Crystal Lee's story directly from her. There were no cameras allowed in the Colorado courtroom, but all eyes were still on the Idaho nurse.
During most of her testimony, she was holding back tears. She was letting tears go.
CBS affiliate KKTV reporter Ashley Franco was in the courtroom Wednesday as Crystal Lee took the stand.
It looked like she was giving herself time to get the answers out, but she was definitely struggling through it.
Lee was Patrick Frazee's secret girlfriend. She says Frazee asked her to kill the mother of his child, Kelsey Barrett, 3 times. And when she didn't, he did. Lee testified that Frazee told her he beat his fiancée to death with a baseball bat on Thanksgiving Day, and that Barrett's last words were, "Please stop." After the murder, Lee says Frazee called her and said she had a mess to clean up.
Crystal Lee says that when she walked into Kelsey Barrett's townhome, she saw blood everywhere. She was cleaning up this massive crime scene.
Lee claims she drove from Idaho to Colorado and cleaned up the crime scene because Frazee told her to, and she feared for her life. A few days after the murder, Lee says she watched as Frazee burned a black tote bag that he told her contained Barrett's body and the baseball bat. More than 20 witnesses have been called to the stand so far. Earlier this week, a prosecution expert testified that a neighbor's surveillance camera captured Frazee 11 times at Barrett's condo the day she disappeared. The defense argued it's not clear if the person was Frazee. Franco says jurors have been paying close attention to everything.
Some of them had their heads down, taking notes. You could see on their faces just the horror and the, shock that they were in after hearing Crystal Lee's testimony.
Frazee has entered a not guilty plea and faces life in prison if convicted. His defense team is expected to point the finger at Lee during the trial, pointing out she lied before about not knowing Frazee and Barrett. In exchange for her testimony, Lee agreed to plead guilty to evidence tampering. She is expected to be back on the stand later this morning.
What could she face?
Right now, because she made a deal with prosecutors for her testimony, she only faces a maximum of 3 years in prison. But if her story falls apart, that deal is off the table. She'll be sentenced after Patrick Frazee's trial.
This is so mind-boggling to me. And of course, we can't get in Miss Lee's head and can't judge and don't want to judge. But do authorities think she was afraid for her own safety? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's the big question. Why would she do that?
Yes.
But Crystal Lee says she was fearing for her own life, that Patrick had threatened her children, but we just don't know yet, and it really comes down to whether or not the jury believes her.
Thank you, Nikki.